Welcome, my beautiful souls. Are you a Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising? This is your this is your reading. Did you feel intuitively nudged, guided to this reading? Trust that this is your reading. Are you looking at love, whether it be old love, new love, existing love? This is definitely your reading. And for those who are looking, what I feel is some new creative ideas. I feel like some of you are looking for guidance. It feels to me like businesses being opened, or at least this is what I'm picking up, like people opening businesses that previously you have put off. But I feel like it was a wish. It's like a dream that you have had. Well, if that's you, this is your reading. Um, and I say that because I do read through my spirit guides, our spirit guides. Um, so when you feel nudged towards a reading, take that as a sign because literally that's what your spirit guides are for. They are your spiritual team that was assigned to you before you came into this lifetime. So use their guidance, ask for their guidance, and you will receive it. That's what I do in every single reading. I ask your spirit guides, what does Cancer or whoever shows, what do they need to know, hear, guidance, whatever it may be. So I am excited to get into your reading. I want to remind you December is a 3 month, and that really is the energy of joy, celebration, gratitude, optimism. And I know it can be difficult in this time of year. Um, if you're struggling to have gratitude, to be joyful, and I get it. It's interesting. I had said to Sam last night, I said, said, I can just feel the struggles of the world and people struggling to like buy gifts and what have you. And I said, I think what we need to do, because like our kids live in different states, um, I said, I think we need to celebrate Christmas for what it was really meant to be and go out and volunteer. So this year, we may volunteer instead of like gifts and all that because truly there's nothing I need, truly there's nothing he needs. So why spend money? But anyway, so I just want to like every part of me wants to bring Christmas back to the reason that we celebrate in the first place, right? And it's not even Jesus's birthday, conception, but not the birthday. So anyway, real quick before we get into your reading, I do want to let you know I am running a Black Friday slash Cyber Monday special, and it's something new I started doing. Well, on YouTube anyway. I've been doing them, but it's something new I'm offering on YouTube, where I'll do what I call a forecast for year 2026. So I break it down, but not really like a little bit planetary, but it's more like from your spirit guide's perspective. What do they want you to know? And each month there is a spirit message that, it's like something you can hang your hat on. Um, so anyways, 20 bucks, 20 bucks, that's it. And that will end on Tuesday. So, well, 12 a.m., I guess, Monday. All right, guys. So I'm excited to get into your reading. I know I've been doing a lot of talking. What I'm going to do this month for you is I'm going to do an actual spread. I've been doing this in the last couple readings and I'm just loving it. So I'm like, why change it? We, of course, will um, give Mother Mary the honor of opening up your reading. I'm kind of switching things around and I'm going to use the Gilded Tarot to, well, if we need them, but chances are we'll bring them in anyway. I was going to say to clarify, but really the reason why I use them is to go even deeper. And then for the main spread, we're going to use the Crystal Vision. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the lid down. The crystals over there. And by the way, as I'm doing the spread, or as I'm laying the cards down, I'll let you know what each position means, because each position um, has a meaning. All right. I actually just want to take off this sweater. I just want to calm my own energy. Open my energy. Cancer. There's a twofold guide for December and moving forward. Thank you. All right. Mother Mary's got a few things to say. All right. First, we have inner child. Inner child. I nurture the child within me through playfulness and self care. I feel like the inner child is where we take the brunt of hurt, the pain, right in the inner child. So, this is a great place to heal the inner child. But as I say, heal, I really feel this is calling more for that playful part of you to come out, which makes sense again in Universal Month 3. That your playfulness would come out. Okay. Mercy. I am kind and thoughtful towards myself and others. And then last but not least, children. My heart is filled with love for children, which creates miracles and positive changes for them and me. You know what? Now I know where I'm gonna volunteer. Something has to do with children. Something that has to do with children. So it feels like this month. It's interesting because we have children and inner child. Um, and I do feel like for some, it is talking about, like I think about like if I'm in a bad mood, when I rented an apartment below my daughter's house, and my grandkids could come in anytime they wanted. Um, but I just remember like, days I was in a bad mood, but then they'd come down and they just cheer me right up. So I don't know. I have a feeling it's talking a little bit about that, but I really feel like you're being called to, maybe let go, at least for the time being, of the things that you can't control anyway. All right. I am going to keep these out. So let's put them over here. And I want to give each one their own crystal. Okay. All right. Let's get into the main spread now. By the way, this is called the Celtic Cross. And anyone who is, because I know a lot of you are just learning tarot or, wanting to start a tarot channel, this is a great spread to do. I mean, I do go much deeper, but you don't need to. I guess. I don't know. As soon as I said that, I'm thinking, I don't know. All right. But, anyways, let's get back to it. So, number one, present, present moment, present energy. We're going to put that right in the middle. Number two, what crosses it? So, it can be challenges, obstacles, like what's getting in the way of one. But it can also be the opposite of that. It can be advice, something that helps you move forward. So we'll put that there. And then number three is the subconscious. I feel like three is the root of the matter. And it's going within that subconscious mind to find it, though I'm going to find it for you. Number four, your past. And potentially what led to number one. Number five, your conscious mind. What you do know about. Or what you're soon to know about. Let's put it that way. And then we are doing the future. Future mirrors the past. I mean, like, as soon as I said that, I'm like, well, depending. I just want to slide everything over just a little bit. Okay. And then we have you. Everything we need to know about you in this situation. And then number two is the external influences. So this can be something that's outside of your control. It can certainly be something that's helping you or hindering you. We'll figure that out as we get there. And then we have your hopes and your fears. So, what are you thinking about? Are there any fears that you have? And if you do, we'll break that down. Like, where is it coming from? Many times, again, I feel like often it points back to the root. And then last but not least is what I call the final outcome, the potential final outcome. And I have to say potential because you have free will. And, if your guides can't cross your free will, then I certainly can. So keep that in mind. You know what I mean? Like, how I look at a reading is through a spiritual lens. But knowing that we're on this earthly plane at the same time. But again, it's like from your guides. So many times it's like a soul to soul reading. That's why it can feel so personal. I do feel like we're one big soul family. Okay, let's go ahead and begin. And we're going to start with present. Seven of Cups. Interesting, because that's also your card. This means you're making an emotional decision. That means something good is coming towards you. Or at least I feel like it's going to be good. You may not know that in this energy. The thing about the Seven of Pentacles is it can feel chaotic in that moment. It may be something that happens in a chaotic day. And then it may just change everything. But what I do love is that it is putting the ball in your court. So it does feel like there's some type of an emotional, let's just say, cup that's coming your way, and then you're going to make that decision, yay or nay. Let's see what crosses it. The Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords can be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Queen of Swords. So when I do a reading, I really feel like you're all people, unless I feel it differently. But of course, I want you to pay attention to your own intuition at the same time. And the reason why I'm saying that is I feel like this queen is you. And I feel like this is, first of all, okay, so I just got a message where as you decide moving forward with this choice, think of your own truth. You know, another way of saying that, does it feel like it's meant to be? Does it feel like more of a spiritual type energy? Or does it feel like more of the same old, same old? I don't feel like it will be of the same old. And that's why I feel like the Queen of Swords is saying, this is about your truth, your authentic self, and being your authentic self. All right, let's look at the root or the subconscious. Look at this. Another question. Two of Pentacles. Interesting. Now, I have to say, to me, the Two of Pentacles is about using your logical mind versus a fear-based mind. And it is Earth, so I feel like it's the difference of calming oneself down. I feel like whatever decision you're making in the Seven of Cups, because it can feel chaotic, doesn't mean the offer itself feels chaotic. It just may be the energy around you at that moment. So I feel like what this is saying is take a moment, just settle yourself, and make the decision from your logical mind, not your fear-based mind. What I do love about the Two of Pentacles is it's called the Juggler's card, because it can mean that you have a lot of balls up in the air. But I don't feel that as a bad thing. I feel that as a good thing, like a lot of options. Maybe you don't know about these options yet. Maybe that's what's showing. Um, so it's like, will it fit in my life? Will it enhance my life? Or will it deplete it? So that's why, like, bringing yourself back, like back to center, and then making a decision. So let's look at the past. The Queen of Cups. Interesting. I feel like that's you. For some of you, I don't know. I'm getting this saying, like, what is that saying? Oh, like, as soon as I got it, I should have said it. Um, like, you're on an island by yourself, metaphorically. But that's what I'm getting. You're on, it feels, okay, it feels like you're on an island by yourself. So you may feel like you're in a situation where everything is on you. Um, or it could be the opposite, where you just feel like no one's taking notice. But someone is, because some type of offer is coming in. So let's go to the conscious mind, the Four of Pentacles. All right, so number one, Four of Pentacles to me talks about your foundation. Well, you can ask yourself when we get to actually what's coming in, which I have a feeling is going to be right around here. Um, does it feel stable? If it's a person, do they feel stable? Are they grounded? I feel like that's going to be important, especially if it's a person that they're grounded. The only negative thing with the Four of Pentacles is sometimes we can be too resistant. It can be like an X, like resistant to our own ideas. This may be something that feels out of the box for you, to you. And that can be a little scary, but maybe that's exactly what your soul needs. Like, let's shake it up. Let's shake it up, Cancer. All right, let's look at your near future. Hierophant. Interesting. First of all, it's a card of Taurus. And I feel like, well, it's also number 5. So it speaks to change. And I definitely feel that for some of you, you have been you've been questioning different situations. You've been doing exactly what this ninth year, the last year of this 9-year cycle, is asked for. And that is reflection. The Hierophant really wants you to question, or you're already questioning, like your morals, your standards, your faith. You know, I feel like the Hierophant is saying, I told you to have faith. I told you to have faith. And I do feel like the Hierophant is about to bless you. So I feel like the Queen, which is you, I feel like you are about to receive some type of fulfillment. We already know that, but I feel like I feel like it's nothing to be afraid of. Quite the opposite. I feel like it's something that's much more aligned to you and with you. All right, let's look at you. Interesting. The King of Cups, and we have the Queen of Cups right over here in the past position. And now we have the King of Cups. Some of you were thinking about this king. Um, unless you're a male, you may be thinking about the queen. Interesting, because this king to me, just like the queen, and you are water. This is the energy I feel where, let's just say normally, this person, at the root, loves love, like being in a relationship, loves having that special partner by their sides. And the Hierophant coming before that, in a way, that's a really good thing, because I do feel like the Hierophant is blessing this situation. All right, let's look at the external. Hello, Ten of Cups. Wow, how about that? Started at the Seven of Cups. You making a decision. That means that the offer comes to you. I feel like it's coming through the King of Cups. And let's just say the King of Cups, because it does not have to be a water sign. But let's just say like-minded. Definitely like-minded. And your morals will match. And I don't mean like they have to match exactly. But this is someone who, like, if you have faith, they have faith. If you have high morals, so do they. Because I feel like they're mirroring you. And I don't mean on purpose. They are just mirroring you. They mirror you. You mirror them. Ten of Cups is the house of love, harmony, laughter, joy. This must be why Mother Mary was really calling your inner child out, right? Allowing yourself to just enjoy. In a way, the Ten of Cups is giving us like the ultimate outcome, but we have to go back again to like your decision over it. But I feel like this is like a peek at the potential of two like-minded individuals who both live according to their morals. And listen, it may have taken time. I feel like both have gone through some changes, and both may be a little leery, but not majorly. Because, I feel like if this is speaking of love, I feel like you're just going to fall in love, whether you mean to or you mean not to. I feel like it's still going to happen. All right, well, let's look at the fears or hopes. Well, there's the fear. That makes sense, right? I don't want my heart broken. I've had my heart broken. I don't want it broken again. Some of you is like I barely got through the last one. That may be why I'm feeling a little hesitation. It's like spirit saying that this, if this is love, which how could it not be? But I don't think that's the only thing that's happening right now. Let's talk about love though. Um, as this relates to love, it has all the makings. Like I feel the Hierophant coming before the Ten of Cups is beautiful. Um, and here's why. I'm looking back at the Four of Pentacles and I'm thinking about foundations. And I feel like because we're starting this reading with the seven, which to me is not an what do you call it, an equal number, then it can have us somewhat off balance. And then trying to make a decision out of that. And I feel like that's why it's saying take a moment, calm your energy, use your logical mind, and it may simply ask you also, like, do they feel grounded to you? Conversation is what's going to help you understand if your morals are similar. Do you have, like the Queen of Cups, the King of Cups, they want the Ten of Cups. Doesn't mean that they've been perfect. Chances are they haven't been. But it is about learning about love at the same time and remembering there's different levels of love. And I feel like one of the major levels is learning what I do not want in love and what I need in love. And I feel like that's what the Hierophant is really supplying you with. And then blessing this union. Oh, interesting. I just said union. So the Three of Swords, for some of you, you could just simply say that the past is still affecting the present. It is a three. Interesting. Because again, December is a universal month three. So this may be exactly what you need to look at this month and try to clear. Because this doesn't feel like it has anything to do with your heart being broken. Quite the opposite. But let's say you don't overcome that. Let's say because again, free will. Some of you are just going to be like, no, not taking that chance again. But here's the thing. I feel like some of you are just going to fall in love, whether you meant to or you didn't. And that, my friends, is divine. All right, let's look at the ultimate outcome. Well, look at that. Your major arcana, number one. That's beautiful. But your major arcana is really about unlimited potential. Your major arcana, and no wonder, because I do feel here like I'm not feeling completely balanced. Something may be off filter, but here's an opportunity to rebalance oneself. The chariot needs balance to become unlimited potential, and it is mirroring the king. So, it is the balance of the feminine and the masculine. For some, it could be the divine feminine and the divine masculine, light and the shadow. And then it can truly soar. This isn't about what was. This is about what can be. It's very clear to me. Like, this is about what can be. And I feel what was didn't start on a strong foundation and therefore probably got knocked off its foundation. Whether that be love, whatever it may be. All right, it seems on the bottom of the deck. Hello, Ace of Wands. So, this means a few different things. Ace of Wands means passion ignited, even if you didn't ask for it. This talks about action, but you do have to reach out and take the ace. Say yes, right? It's kind of like the willingness to take a step forward. That's it. You're not making any commitments, you're just taking a step. But you're passionate about it. You feel it. It's something you're going to feel. And I feel like it's being done on purpose. Like you're going to feel something like within you. And you may not know why yet. It's your spirit guides trying to get you ready, especially for those who are like, no way. Wow. You know, it is your free will, and your guides know that. Don't think that they're not going to try everything they can. Let's say this may be a soul contract that is coming to fruition. Like two souls who made an agreement to come together at a certain time in their lives. And by the way, soulmates, twin flames, you know, we come with our own set of goals. Our soul has things it wants to accomplish, adventures it wants to take. And sometimes the best love or the greatest love doesn't come till after that. Even the love that you've been through, look at it more as a stepping stone potentially to your ultimate love. As your vibration raises, so does everything else around you. Excuse me 1 second. Okay, I was only gone for a second. Um, so anyways, I feel like, well, I want to look underneath that. Look at this Six of Cups. It's interesting because this could be a past life love. I've been getting that a lot lately. And just think about the energy we're moving into, the energy of the magician, right? A clean slate. If we if we've done the work of the hermit, the 9 year, well, this is the year that we were meant to reflect back on the last 9 years. But you can look at like how life runs in 9 year cycles. But anyways, this can be someone you already know. And then there's judgment, your spiritual team. So, do I feel like your spiritual team is activating, maybe your heart chakra, but maybe even more. It's almost like I feel like a new zest for life. Like all of a sudden, I feel like, wow, it's like a new zest for life. All right. I am going to bring in the Gilded Tarot. You know, the one thing about this reading is it feels like it's over too soon for me. So I want to know more. I want to know more, but I know you want to know more. So let's give the Gilded Tarot a cut. And let's start within the present moment. Seven of Cups and the Queen of Swords. Tell us a little more about that. What type of decision are they facing or is coming towards them? And the Queen of Swords meaning. I get a sense that many of you are gonna pick up signs, like undeniable signs that are from your guides and from loved. When I say your guides, don't forget that also includes your loved ones, your ancestors. Some of them you haven't met in this lifetime, but they love you dearly and you love them dearly. Um, and some you have lived life with in this lifetime. Some are angels and have never lived life, but they were all assigned to you. And the reason why I guess I'm saying that is I feel like there's just going to be like signs that you like for some I feel like a butterfly lands on my hand. Um something's going to happen. Okay. And I'm being told, no, that's from your guides. Okay, we have the Chariot again. Interesting. It's like we have the feminine and the masculine now. Is that the way I'm supposed to read it? When I ask questions, I'm like literally talking to our guides. You know, I feel like two people are just coming into the same vibrational energy. Knight of Wands, passion, passion coming in. And by the way, you won't be able to deny it. You know, I feel like a knight is sent by a king or queen. Many of you have heard me say that. I definitely feel like a knight will complete their mission, come hell or high water. Doesn't mean it'll be accepted, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to try, right? I'm going to deliver what I was asked to deliver. But here, it's passion, it's desire. Like this Ace of Wands, where your spirit team is like activating, I feel like for many of you, your heart chakra, but maybe even more, like I feel like third eye. Um, like your psychic self is becoming even more psychic. But you know why? Because you're getting rid of the fluff. You're getting rid of the things that don't matter. You know what I mean? The things that we worry about that really hold zero weight. And you're letting it go. And by letting it go, it's taking the weight off of your shoulders. So it gives you an opportunity to feel lighter than probably you've ever been. Freer. But I mean free as in where I don't let fear or past pain be the determinator of whether I move forward what's now being presented to me. You are meant to feel this. And I just get a sense with two chariots, listen, we have the queen and the king of cups. You know, it could be Cancer and Cancer. And I just mean that for a few. Like, I definitely don't feel like that's for everyone. But there could be a few. All right. See if anything else wants to come out with that. We have interesting the Nine of Cups. Beautiful. Because we have the Ten of Cups. And the Nine of Cups is you having inner harmony. But it also answers some of your dreams. It is about fulfillment of wishes. But it's like I feel like what your guides are saying is you have to learn how to bring yourself to a calm state, even in the midst of chaos. Makes sense during the holiday season. You know, this person is lifting up this cup, like celebrating it. This really is where you are feeling good within your life. It doesn't mean everything is perfect. It just means that you yourself are finding inner harmony. Listen, this night that's bringing in this passion, this desire, I know it's going to make you feel good. I know it's going to make you feel. Oh, well, maybe that's the word. It's going to make you feel. Seven of Swords. Interesting. Now, do I feel like your guides are bringing in untrustworthy energy? I don't. But, I'm looking at this person and they're getting ready to walk through a gate. This is someone who doesn't really have a hard time taking more than what they deserve, let's say. I want to know why that seven came out. Justice. Okay. I had a feeling. I knew it wasn't your future. So, justice coming out with that seven of swords is also tying back to the three of swords. And this may be why you are in the position of the past. Because some of you, that may be where your energy is still at. Like, I really want you to remind yourself again that we're in the year of the hermit. This is that final month to do that clearing because literally next year, right around the corner, it's a clean slate. Unless I bring drama, whatever it may be. So the hermit's like, I'm giving you the time to reflect, to gain. It's about spiritual wisdom. Many of you, you know that your vibration is raising. I know that about you. Maybe somebody else doesn't. So I feel like justice is like that's what you got to cut ties to. This is not about this coming in, which I knew that. So it makes sense that we would see justice. Justice is about you having balance, though. When you see justice in a reading, it means a few different things. Number one, you may be unbalanced, but it may be someone's energy that has you in this unbalanced state. Listen, the one thing with the Seven of Swords is I don't feel like this is energy we can trust. So why would I want to carry it forward? Granted, for some, it could be someone you were in love with. But what if this love was a stepping stone to your true love? Because I definitely feel like Spirit is like, this is what you have to look at, think about, and know that you have every right to say no to anyone in any situation that you do not trust. Like, let your intuition guide you. And when you use the sword of justice, what it does is it makes you whole again. Wow, we're seeing the chariot over and over. And that is about you becoming balanced. Even the Seven of Cups is a little unbalanced, right? But then it brings us right back to using your logical mind and not your fear based mind. There's no way that what's coming in, that who wants to be in this Ten of Cups is this energy, unless they have themselves evolved. But because I'm seeing justice, I feel like chances are that's slim. So I feel like I want the queen to get out of the past and move over to the present. And this is one of the ways that that will happen. And look what it brings you, inner harmony. And that may be exactly why we see that Queen of Swords also, right? Your authentic self, your authentic truth, and not being afraid to live in it. This is someone who really does demand truth. The Seven of Swords has a hard time being truthful. This is someone who wants someone who's authentic. This person's not being authentic. So what are you going to do? I feel like it's pretty clear. Now, the Seven of Swords doesn't even have to be a person. It could just be energy. It could be a work situation. It's just people who have been around you, whether it be singular or multiple, where number one, their energy is probably lower than their vibration. Um, I'm not going to say they don't have a spiritual bone in their body, but I don't know that they would use it. And I don't know why I'm spending so much time on it, to be honest, because I feel like this is what wants to go. So we're going to pick this up and let it go. So when that knight comes in, that ace activates whatever it's going to activate. Making a choice, a decision, becomes so much easier. And again, here's how you can look at it. We got to know who and what just is not serving us. Who demands that we lower our vibration to be with them? And we all do it. We've all done it. And that's a part of what we're learning. But we have to learn that. Like, okay, so for a while, I've been lowering my vibration to meet another's, but that's not working out for me. That's only causing me heartache. I need to change course. Some of you may wish the someone of the past, and I'm not going to say someone of the past can't come back, but I will say the Seven of Swords energy, like, I hope it doesn't come back because I don't feel like it would serve you. If it does, it'd be more like the last karmic test, like the last test of 2025. And what will Cancer do? All right. Um, let's come down to the root, which is the subconscious again. The root is just what I call it. Oh my God. Cancer. Look at this. Fear. Holy crap. I'm sorry. I don't mean to overreact. It's just, this is number one, the Eight of Swords is a self created prison. Number two is potentially blocking a situation, but you're choosing that. It's a blindfold. And sometimes in that blindfold, there's something we fear to face. But it's like a band-aid. You got to rip that band-aid off. Because what you're going to face is not what you think you're going to face. But I get it. In this energy, it's like fear is ruling the day. And this is exactly why I feel like your higher self is saying, we need to get you centered. We need to get you back to your logical mind and out of this fear-based mind that somebody put you in. Well, you put yourself in there because that's what the Eight of Swords is, self-created. But that also means you can uncreate it. And baby, that is freedom. That is true freedom. Whether you say yes or no to anything, it's still allowing your energy to be open and not putting up these walls. This also means that you're not paying attention to your intuition. Some of you, I know you were guided here because your spirit guides are going to activate those chakras come hell or high water. And I feel like they're just preparing you. And some of you, it's not an easy task. You know, the blindfold for some, and it hurts my heart to even say this, but I do feel like the blindfold is, I have to realize, or I have to know, that if someone is being untrustworthy with me, you have to accept that. And I have to make a real decision. Is this how I want to live my life? Because I don't feel like you do. And granted, you may love someone, but are they giving you the love that you deserve? You know, we all get caught in these cobwebs of love. And many times they're free will choices. And we think there are everything. I mean, all you have to do is go back in your own personal history and think about the times you fell in love. I bet you didn't plan any of them. I bet every one of them happened unexpectedly. And each one, again, is teaching you something. So some of you, you may find as you reflect back, repeat patterns, you know, where you give someone or people multiple chances. And there's nothing wrong with giving someone a second chance if they've like corrected what needed corrected. But I don't feel that. I don't feel that. And I know some of you wish I did, but I don't. You know, I feel like there's probably a few of you out there who, you know, when you think about love, you have a certain image in your mind. You know, maybe what that perfect person will look like or what have you. And I feel like Spirit's asking you to let that go and just allow yourself to be surprised, but also to be open that this next, what feels like your next love, can be and probably will be so different than what you're used to. But I feel like that's a good thing. So I feel like if you're putting affirmations out there, like let's say you are interested in loving again, um, put those affirmations out there. But say, what I would say is, what I want is a high vibrational love. And I also want to remind you, like, you have to be the energy that it is that you're seeking. Because if you are, it will seek you too. Promise you. I just have a feeling there's going to be, just like the signs. I feel like the signs are going to be undeniable. And for some of you, they're going to freak you out a little. And they're going to freak you out, not because they're scary, because you won't be able to deny it. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. All right. It doesn't seem like anything else wants to come out. Okay. Ah, the Hermit and then the Wheel. Your destiny. First, the Hermit. Wow. And I'll tell you why I'm saying wow. Well, I've talked about this already in the reading. We're in the year of the Hermit. And the Hermit really is a wise old soul. It's a reminder that you've been here before, you've done this before, not just in this lifetime, but many lifetimes. Your higher self would tell you that. And I like how the Hermit has his back to the Eight of Swords and the Two of Swords. So the reflection can do you wonders. Like being very truthful with oneself. And then what is the Hermit's lantern illuminating? Your will, your destiny. I get a feeling back here it was more free will, if not karmic. And now I feel like you're moving into, well, your destiny. So meant to be. But this was probably meant to be too. Because don't forget, like when I think of the Hermit, there it is. We're all wise old souls. It's just coming back to ourselves, remembering who we are on a spiritual level. Oh, I like how I have this right now. It's like illuminating that Two of Swords. Like, take off that blindfold, my dear. There's nothing to fear here. Quite the opposite. You're heading, and now the Hermit's lantern is illuminating your destiny. I don't know, you could have gotten two better cards to come over the Eight of Swords and the Two of Swords. So, we're going to let that be. All right. Okay. Normally I don't like looking at the past because really what's the sense? But something is telling me take a card or two. Okay. The Tower. Well, completion. I may not have wanted it. Tower to me is that feeling of someone falling from grace. And I don't feel like it's you. But what can you do? Someone may have given you the tower. Someone may have, like, gives you the tower, takes it back, gives you the tower, takes it back. They're playing mind games with you. But, I mean, it makes total sense that we would see the tower in the past. And the tower may also represent the letting go of it also. Sometimes I feel like our spirit guides, if we're really resistant to change, but they know, because they do know. Number one, they know your soul contract. And number two, their only job is to guide you. So they will guide you in many different ways. And sometimes it is through resistance, like making things more and more resistance. If that happens, know that your guides are saying there's a change on the horizon, and we're only trying to get you ready for it. All right, let's go up to the subconscious mind, or I mean the conscious mind. There's that Ace of Wands. So it jumped off from the bottom of the deck right into your reading. And look at that. Hello, Fool. Wow. Hello, new beginning. Hello, leap of faith. If we're following the numerology for the collective, this is really quite beautiful. Because if you think of 2026 as a clean slate, think of it as the Fool's energy. The Fool can go any direction the Fool wants to go. But the Ace of Wands is activating the Fool. It's like the Fool feels the right direction. Nothing happens unless you take that leap of faith. And your guides are doing everything they can to help you take that leap of faith, even to the point of pointing out just what's no longer serving you and to take the blame off of you. Like, I feel this sense of, like, you should feel, other than like life's little problems, I feel like your guides are saying this is a time for you when you should really feel unencumbered, unafraid. And even if you are a little fearful, don't let that get in your way. Don't compare your past to your future. Don't make your past your future. And, that's free will. I mean, look at that. The Ace of Wands and the Fool together, and we just literally saw your will, your destiny. Like, literally, you are heading into a destined time. And the Fool is moving into the Hierophant's energy. Wow. Where the Hierophant is about to bless you and a situation. I'm noticing him holding up two fingers, maybe two situations. Interesting, the Fool is right across from the Chariot, your major arcana, but unlimited potential. The only limit that the Chariot has is what our human mind puts upon it. Our spiritual being knows. Can we reach that 10 of Cups? Yes, we can reach that. But the Fool is a reminder to enjoy the journey of getting to the 10 of Cups. It's also a reminder that you are the writer, like you carry the pen and paper. So you're co-creating with your team. How do you want your story to look? How do you want your book to read? Exciting, adventuresome, or just stuck? Okay, let's look at the Hierophant, and I'm going to keep the Fool and the Ace of Wands out because I just feel like interesting. We got two in reverse. We have the Two of Pentacles, which is sitting at the root, and the Seven of Wands. Well, Seven of Wands, let's put them in the upright for a second, is about standing your ground. But over what? That's what I feel like it's saying. What am I standing my ground over? Maybe I'm standing my ground with someone, but they're refusing to play along anyway. Because I get the sense of I'm letting go. I've had enough. I'm coming back to me again. I'm putting me in the forefront. And whatever wants to enter into my life, let it be of a high vibration. That's probably why you're being blessed. Because you are willing to put it down. Put down that baggage. All right, let's look at the King. It's funny how I go into every one of these and I say, chances are I won't clarify every card, and then I do. Again, it's not that I'm even clarifying. I feel like it's more of the story. So, King of Cups, who are you? Can we trust you? Are you our future? Six of Wands. Victory and success. So, first thing I noticed is the Hierophant, with the Hierophant right here. Double Taurus, by the way. Um, but I feel like there's our double blessing at the same time. But let's see what else is here. The Magician. Interesting, because the Magician, we have two cards that came. Well, no, this is the only one that came down, face down. The Magician. The Nine of Pentacles. Successful self-employment. The Nine of Swords. But then look at this, the Hierophant. I have a feeling this king went through something very similar as you. I have a feeling this king had to overcome, had to move past the fear. I have a feeling this king is being guided just like you're being guided. The Magician is 2026. And, I feel like this is saying a couple different things. Like, number one, for those of you who maybe you want to start a business, the Nine of Pentacles is beautiful energy for that. It tells you that you can be successful. In the Nine of Pentacles, it's you reaping the benefits of your hard work. But I feel like this king, it's almost like you do similar things. Because the Six of Wands to me is really where other people are looking up to you or to them for advice because they've been there, they've done that. This person may own a spiritually based business, and you may own one or thinking about one. You both may be in the thought process. but you're both carrying the energy of the magician. And by the way, the magician, you can see the infinity symbol right here, nice and big, as above, so below. The magician teaches the fool, which is right here. And the magician really is one of the fool's greatest mentor. He teaches the fool, you have all the tools you need on the table. In other words, it's saying within you. You already have them. They're already there. It's just finding them within yourself. This is the ability to manifest through beautiful energy of the fool. You know, when you see the fool, know that the fool has come to completion with something. And the fool is not dragging the past into the future, just the wisdom of it. You know, your reading reminds me a little bit of Gemini's reading, who I did right before yours. Because I see or I'm not seeing, I'm feeling similar energy. And theirs was all about soulmates and twin flames. And I'm saying that because if this is love, this isn't any old love, and let's look at it a different way. Let's use a different perspective. Like, let's go back to our first love, right? We're just learning how to love. And then it breaks up. We go to our next love. And they do something. Well, that taught me what I don't want. Then we go to our next love. And maybe that worked out for a while. But then it fizzled out. Do I stay or do I go? Well, are you happy? Or are you staying just because? You know what I mean? Like everything I feel like has led you to this point is really what I'm trying to say. Long way around. So I feel like there's nothing to worry about this king. I feel like this king also had to overcome. And that makes sense because if both of you had overcome something that was difficult, who's going to understand you better than them? And you to them also. It's a two-way street. And by the way, they're seeking love, but they're under you. So they're seeking you. Okay, let's go up to the Ten of Cups. I want to say what you're seeking is also seeking you. But really, what I feel is what's seeking you, you're also seeking. But I just don't know if you know it yet. Some of you do. But some of you are just going to be surprised. And, like that's one of the reasons why I love tarot. I could do tarot. I mean, I could do readings and not use cards. But part of what I love about tarot is letting the story unfold. Like, I love just letting it unfold in front of us. And my guides know how I read. And I feel like they taught me how to read. What was my point anyway? I forget what my point was. Sorry about that. Look at this. Hello, Judgment. And who was sending in that Ace of Wands to start with? Judgment. Your spiritual team. And when you see Judgment, What are they trying to tell you? Trying to call you to the present moment. Past is the past. The future is yet to be. Let's live in the here and now. Let's create from the here and now. Judgment speaks about a rebirth. How beautiful. It's coming over the Ten of Cups. So it's like a secret promise. And I don't know why I'm saying secret, but I am. It like how I was saying, like, what seeks you, you're also seeking. Well, I feel like that's your spiritual team. They're just guiding what is meant to be next in your life. Who is meant to be next in your life? And why? Will you hear their call? Will you hear their call? That may be why some of the signs are going to be outrageous to the point where you just can't deny it. And please try not to deny it now that I'm telling you that. Like your lights may go off 3 times, like flash 3 times. There's going to be something. You're going to see a certain number over and over. And I know some of you already do. And by the way, when you see these combination numbers over and over, and they don't have to match. Someone said, I see 1, 2, 3, 4 all the time. I see that all the time too. I see my birthday. I see my son's birthday all the time. You know what I mean? And every time I see that, when I see my birthday, I'm like, happy birthday to you. But when I see my son's birthday, I'm like, thank you. Thank you, Steve. Because I know it's just a little nod that I'm here with you. All right. But, I don't feel like I've even begun to describe the type of signs that are coming in. And, like, I want to take a second and just thank your guides because they want you to live the best life that you can. And I feel like you're being reminded that next year really is a clean slate. In the full, what a beautiful energy to start a brand new 9 years. So think about that. We have the Four of Pentacles in reverse over the Three of the Three of Swords. That kind of makes sense because that means the foundation wasn't strong. That's why the Tower could easily come in and probably was meant to come in. And I know some are like, no, but I have to say yes. And I feel it's that simple. I just feel like you didn't feel steady, and therefore your life didn't feel steady, nor did your choices. But as you're moving more and more into this fool's energy, you're becoming more and more stabilized, I guess is the word. But what that's really doing is opening up this beautiful new chapter that, listen, again, you carry the pen and paper. Like, how do you want to write this chapter? Your spiritual team, like, in a way, they already know. They know. But they can't write the paper for you. All right, let's look at the ultimate outcome. Death card. Interesting. So, it's like a period on the end of a sentence. Completion. Transformation. But it is about a new beginning. Remember, when you see the death card, it means that a door has closed. Well, that is the Tower, my friend. But it was meant to close. So that may help you. And what you can ask yourself, have you been treated unfairly? Have you been hanging on to someone's energy who just keeps you in this unstable mode? And is that what you want? Or are you ready to close that door? Because when you close that door, I promise you, a new door always opens. And look at that with the Fool right there. Your new door. Not just that, it's coming over your major arcana. So you know it's speaking to you. And there is nothing to fear, really, but fear itself. It is about transformation. But that means that you're ready for that. And some of you're already in that energy. So if you're already in that energy, hang on to your hat. Hang on to your hat. And, although I'm speaking a lot about love, and I know that's the case for a lot of you, I just want you to understand that this energy, the energy that is being shown to us, can be used with anything, right? Even a job. Like, if I give and give and give and I'm not receiving, how long do I want to stay at that job? Some of you've always wanted to create a business. Well, the Fool's energy is the perfect energy to begin in. And that's the thing. You're just beginning. You don't have to know everything. Many things you'll learn as you go. But if it has anything to do with your spirituality, baby, you're growing leaps and bounds. And I feel like when this door ultimately closes, it is a new Cancer. It is a new way of being, a new way of living. I do feel you're unencumbered. Maybe that's why Mother Mary was saying your inner child is really being called. Well, think of the inner child, right? The willingness to just play. The inner child unencumbered until we encumber it with all of these worries. And just how I began the reading, where I talked about we're getting rid of the fluff, the things that really don't matter anyway, the things that we may give weight to that really are just a waste of our time. I feel like the question will be, will you allow this transformation? Because your spiritual team is doing all they can do. They can't move you into, or they can't force you to close a door. Like they can send a tower. That's disruption. But maybe I just accept that. And they send another one. And I accept that. Then they may say, okay, maybe that's just the way he or she wants to live. But they know your soul contract. That's the thing. You don't. Not yet. But as we come more and more into our spiritual energy, you start to realize, I have a feeling this was part of my soul contract. Even when you look at love, every love has taught me something. And they were the stepping stones to my ultimate love. Judgment coming right over the 10 of Cups. I mean, you want to talk about a promise. Your spiritual team keeps their promises. And it's interesting because you have quite a few energies that's really calling you to the present moment. The death card, right? The closing of the old chapter, just as is meant to be. If you even think of like the universal year 9, the end of a 9-year cycle, the end, right? Transforming into the new, into the next, willing to take a leap of faith, but first you're being inspired. So it's like your guides know how to work with you. Almost like if I don't inspire them first, they may not make that move. So I'm going to send that inspiration, just like I may have sent a tower. But it's all in the name of unconditional love for you. And you being able to live the best life that you possibly can. And I feel like as love goes, in a way, judgment is like showing us the 10 of cups, the potential. But I feel like also the fool was like, but let's not miss the journey because the journey is romantic, exciting, filled with passion. I mean, you're not going to be able to deny it. Even the Knight of Wands came out over your present situation where you're making a decision in the cups. Trust your morals, your faith, and base it off of that, and you can't go wrong. Talk to your spiritual team like they're right beside you because they are. And know that their only goal is to guide you. They were assigned to you before you came into this lifetime, and they want you to let them help you. And that's what they're doing here. And I want to say thank you. And I think I'm going to let that be because I feel like there are some free will decisions to be made. Um, but I feel like if you can, let's just say, be in the fool's energy, the rest I feel like is just going to light up your heart. Light up your heart. And I'm going to let it be. I'm going to let it be. I thank your guides because I feel like your reading was very clear. At least to me. I hope it was to you also. And I love your comments, so please leave your comments. By the way, your comments, I call it the healing section because, there could be things you just need to get out of you. Get them out of you. You know what I mean? Some of you have been through this and know exactly what I'm saying. And your comment can help another be like, okay, so yeah, it actually does work. This is the way spirituality works. You're evolving. And as you evolve, so does your life. Period. I love you. I thank you. Thank your guides. I'll see you next time at our table. It's interesting because I could not wait to do December's readings, and now I cannot wait to do January's readings. And keep your eyes open, your ears open, because I might do a podcast where I break down each month on a soul level. And don't forget about that special I have because it's only running through the weekend. And it's a quick turnaround. So, thank you. I love you. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.